please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
The setup this morning is that the Asian markets are having a good start, especially if you take a look at the Hang Seng. Now, the Nifty Future yesterday closed at 10,490. And let's pull out the SGX Nifty now. That's adjusting, of course, so 10,521. Simple arithmetic would mean that that's indicating about a 30-point sort of uptick. Yesterday, the futures, of course, fell less than the spot, and the SGX Nifty is now adjusting to that. Ashwini Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani, and Mitesh Thakkar now join us. Good morning, gentlemen. Ashwini, so if we have, Nifty Future opening at around, say, 10,520, 525, which is what the SGX Nifty is indicating, what would be the first trade? Do you take a short considering the last hour move?
Good morning, Anuj. The issue with yesterday's fall is that it's happened from a key resistance which the market is unable to get past. So sooner or later, this was coming. Now, first trade, which is SGX 20 points higher adjusted, that should lead you to take short positions. Whether it works or does not work, we'll find out. If we start crossing 10,550 again, then that trade is over. But I think prima facie, any sort of gap up should be used to sell into both on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty.
Okay, Sudarshan Sukhani is also with us, and so is Mitesh Thakkar. Gentlemen, morning to both of you. Sudarshan, after what we saw yesterday, should we be a bit concerned about the short-term trend reversing, or because volumes were so low yesterday, FIIs were absent, etc., you should not take that cut too seriously?
Yeah, good morning. Well, yesterday was not a good day, and the patterns are slowly changing. I've been bullish, and we have been buying at every dip and hopefully making money as the market rallies. That story may now be ending. We had a new high in the beginning of November, and finally, as we start today, that new high is still intact. Our repeated efforts to cross that level in the last 15 days has been fading. The Nifty keeps on coming down. Now, that's not good news. So it does appear that the trend is tired, and that the trade in the short term, in the swing trade, is really to close your long positions in the Nifty. I don't think there should be any long positions in the Bank Nifty, but to close all long positions, futures positions in the Nifty. Understand that even if we see a rally today or for the next couple of days, I would feel that the markets are facing significant resistance, and actually a short trade is now opening up for people who are willing to have slightly wider stop losses. So maybe after seeing today's market action, tomorrow or day after, we will be looking at installing a short trade. So clearly the market mood has changed for me. This is no longer a buy on dips market. Yesterday's price action was not conducive at all. Step aside, close your long positions, be willing to take short in the next few days.
Okay, that's interesting. Mitesh Thakkar is also with us. Mitesh, good morning. How are you approaching the first trade today, and your overall bias for the day?
Good morning, Anuj. I think the bias kind of changed yesterday with the decline in the Bank Nifty, and in fact, between the two indices, I would still choose to go short on the Bank Nifty. I think as long as the 25,420, 500 zone is not being cleared, and that will be an important supply zone today morning, I think the Bank Nifty will continue to face supply pressure from the upside. So I think today's gap up should be used to short the Bank Nifty with a stop just about 25,520. And I think 25,200 should be your first target. So if you're opening around 25,400, you're taking a 120-point kind of risk for a 200-point profit, and possibly if 25,200 goes, another 200 to 250 points can happen on the downside. So I would trade with the negative bias on the Bank Nifty. The Nifty will take a call slowly. I think the minute upside trend has kind of ceased, but if it starts capturing 10,480 again, maybe it'll get back into a range. So I'm not very negative on the Nifty, but yes, on the Bank Nifty, willing to go short.
Okay, why don't we start with some stock ideas then? Ashwini, before we talk about your list, I wanted to ask you, yesterday we saw a sell-off in a lot of large cap names, HDFC, HUL, TCS, etc. Anything that is worth buying today?
See, the markets came off because large stocks sold off. And if it's a beginning of a sell-off, then there'll be, lots of downside. So there's no question of buying anything now. Let all this selling momentum be over, and only then you should try to buy into the market. I think 10,500, 550 is emerging as some sort of a maybe short-term or intermediate top, and from where you will have a significant correction. So don't try to buy into any sort of large caps. Those one-off stocks like gas or jewelers, they may still show some upside, but particularly financials and domestic stocks, they are going to get hit. Now with this crude getting past 67, I think market is likely to have make this and the bond yield the focus, and maybe even underperform Asian markets. So I wouldn't be very cheered with a good opening on Asian markets. As far as stocks are concerned, PC Jeweler is a sell with a stop of 475, target of 450. IGL is a buy with a stop of 334, target of 352. Bharti Infratel is a sell with a stop of 375, target of 358. SBI is a sell with a stop of 311, target of 297. And Kotak is a sell with a stop of 1015, target of 965. Now yesterday, interestingly, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Kotak and SBI both fell, all fell more than 1%. Now obviously somebody is getting out of banks.
Okay, that's an interesting point. Sudarshan, good morning, and actually Happy New Year to you. I think we are talking for the first time in 2018. So before we discuss stocks, what's your key resolution for this year, Sudarshan?
Yeah, good morning. The key resolution is to maintain trading discipline and not go and buy every time I want to buy.
Okay, fair enough. Let's discuss your stocks then.
Yeah, it's very difficult to stop buying because we are very upbeat, but 2018 is not starting well. It doesn't augur well, at least the starts. See, broadly, there's a theme I want to explain to viewers. If you have mid caps and small caps in your trading account, which means you buy them and hold them for a few weeks to a few months, this is a very good time to start planning to take profits. You know, if the markets start coming down, the biggest effect comes on these small caps and mid caps which are flying around. So take your profits now. You can always buy back. There's no big deal. It does appear that the markets are willing to give up some of the gains. But for the short-term trader, there are still buying opportunities. I'm starting now with NIT Technologies. You had KPIT, which is bottoming out, and NIT, which had a rally and a consolidation, and a renewal of that up move is quite possible. This is surprising because IT stocks are going in spite of the US dollar, the dollar weakness, but that's how markets work out. Then I have PVR as a buy. That's a positional buy. Maybe a market decline will really push people for more entertainment. I don't know. A large bullish head and shoulder is now in place in PVR. You consider buying it for a swing trade, also as a positional holding in PVR. Finally, Sun TV, my favorite. A small flag in Sun TV is willing to go higher. So even if the market chops around, I mean, I don't think the markets may fall immediately. They may actually go up. There are buying opportunities in some of the blue chip stocks. Two short selling ideas, BEML, which is falling day after day relentlessly, and my favorite short selling sector, PSU banks. Today I have Union Bank, but you could really close your eyes and sell any PSU banks except for State Bank. I'll just explain again quickly that this is not a buyer's market anymore.
Okay, the other sell was on BEML. The graphic didn't show for that, but we'll put that out. Stop is 1620, target is 1560. Mitesh, what about you? You also have a mix of buys and sells.
And I have more sells. Two buys. One of them is BHEL, which I think managed to weather the yesterday's evening late session storm well. The candlestick pattern was quite positive, and I would expect the stock to go to 100. So buy with a stop just below 93. Chambal Fertilizer, something finally managing to break the 2-month consolidation on the upside. So buy with a stop at 151. Look for 172 to about 175 as the short-term target. And I have 3 sell calls. SBI is a sell with a stop at 312. Look for declines to about levels of 296. Kotak Bank is a conditional sell. So if it breaks the pivot support of 995, 993, go short with a stop at 1011 for targets of 965. And Maruti again, very similar setup. The intraday charts are now looking tired and suggest profit booking and a correction and a pullback. So if it breaks the intraday pivot of 96.20, go short with a 100-point stop loss at 97.20. Look for about 200 points kind of pullback to about 94.25 levels.
Okay, Ashwini, just coming back to you for the call on PC Jeweler, because I think there was some typo over there. It's a buy, not a sell, right?
It's a buy with a stop around 460, target of 495.
Okay, so we'll change that on ticker as well and on graphics. PC Jeweler was a buy. It was up 2.5% yesterday. So stop is 460 and target is 495 on that.
Okay, so that's PC Jewelers had a phenomenal run, right? 136% in the last 12 months. I like Sudarshan's resolution where he says that don't buy everything you want to buy. I think I'll remember that the next time I go shopping, because that's a good resolution for girls.
You know how long the New Year resolutions last, right, Sonia? Mine lasts for 1 hour. So
I think Sudarshan has a little more willpower than that, right, Sudarshan?
I hope so. And most traders this time should have it. 2018 first half may not be very happy.
You know, I was not talking about Sudarshan, I was talking about you. Because
Especially when it comes to shopping, I have no willpower.
Exactly.
That's true. Okay, Manisha Gupta joins in now to give us a quick roundup of all the action from the commodity space that we've seen overnight. Hi, Manisha. Morning.
Morning, and thank you for that, Sonia. Well, the commodities, for one, have started this year on a positive note. We've seen the crude oil prices, after gaining 17% in the previous year, continue to gain up today as well. So if you look at the Brent and the US crude varieties, they're both up between 1/4 to 0.5% on the higher side. Of course, it is the weakness in US dollar. The China manufacturing data has come in on the positive side. And the markets do anticipate that while everything else is in the positive, the US shale output is the only downward risk that the markets have been seeing. And the latest data shows that the investment in new discoveries has been low for last 3 years. So even as the US shale output will see a growth, but not at the same pace that we have seen in the last year. And in the meanwhile, you have seen the inventories, global supplies continue to decline. The demand seems good. Today, you have manufacturing data coming in from Germany, US, much of Europe, etc. So the markets would continue to react much on that. It is a good beginning for the metal space as well. The steel prices have opened 1.5% higher in Shanghai today. With the China pollution crackdown and good demand on steel on the other side, you are looking at support continuing for many of the metals as well. It is the weakness in US dollar, which has been supportive for gold. So we've started 2018 above $1,300 per ounce. 1,305 is where it's holding. So a new 4-month highs is how we've started for that one in Asia today.
Okay.
There's important and positive corporate news around Neyveli Lignite. We understand that PFC, REC and SBI formed consortium will lend about 11,000 crore to the company's power plant in Uttar Pradesh. We also separately understand that NLC is looking to buy one of GMR's power assets. Mr. S.K. Acharya, Chairman NLC, has joined us on the phone line. Good morning, Mr. Acharya. A very happy 2018 to you. First up, your expansion in Uttar Pradesh. Is it true that it has achieved financial closure?
It is true that it has achieved financial closure 2 days back.
Okay, so a PPA is in place?
Yes, the entire power will be going to UP.
Okay, what kind of margins on this are you expecting, and what is the timeline of completion?
It will be around 21, 22 will be commissioning. And the margin, as you know, we are equal partners. We are 51% stakeholder, and UP, RNV is holding rest, that is 49%. So the tariff is basically sort of whatever it works out as per the formula. So that way we are not expecting a large profit margin as such, but it will be, because this is our own plant and we will be giving the power to the government of the UP. So it will work out the way it works out as per CS norms.
Okay, so those are the profit margins. Any indication of what the revenue contribution could be and what would be the impact on finance costs, etc.?
The impact on finance actually is 1980 megawatt that will be adding. So at a tariff of something around 4 rupees, it's quite substantial impact will be there. But as I told, we are 51% equity holders, so also 49% is by UP. So naturally the profit will be shared in the form of dividend by both the partners.
Okay. So is the going rate of power 4 rupees that a fresh PPA has been signed? Are there any more PPAs in the market?
PPA, in fact, at 4 rupees signed now, not to my knowledge, not many. This was contemplated much earlier.
Okay.
And the PIB got delayed. And after the PIB quickly, maybe, after we got the PIB clearance, within 7 days, we had awarded the main plant, the turbine and the general part of it. And works have been going on there for the last 1.5 years in full swing. Almost we have spent around 1,000 crores over that.
Okay, you said there will be a substantial impact on finance costs. Can you tell us what is the cost of borrowing?
See, total our requirement is something around 17,000 crores.
Okay.
Out of which, first around 1,000 crores we took from Bank of India. And the rest lot now through the consortium headed by REC, PFC and bank also joining in State Bank. So this one is the most competitive tariff. In fact, we went through the tender process. It is through tendering only it has been done.
So when you say competitive, below 8%?
Why to make it so public? But yes, it's very competitive. It is around that. Yeah.
All right, sir. So I wanted to know about whether you're bidding for any of the stressed power assets. You were very seriously looking at GMR Chhattisgarh, weren't you?
True. In fact, we have in our corporate plan to buy something around 3,000 megawatt of stressed power assets, so that quickly we can add to our revenue, and with our expertise we can run those stressed assets. But you know, the valuation and the process are so, I'll not say difficult, but yes, it is taking time. For GMR, our part valuation is over and we are in talks, but only thing is somebody should buy power, and at what rate. That basically, without that, buying an asset will not be really helpful for us.
Okay.
Earlier it was Tanjatco which assured us to buy the entire power. Now we are discussing about the rate. They are expecting somewhere around 3 rupee 10 paisa ex-bus from that place, which we find it will be really difficult because the coal it is not a pitted power station. Coal has to come from our coal mine, which is located at 300 kilometers from the power plant.
Okay.
So that way, we will find it very difficult at that rate. It will be somewhere around 3.5 or maybe slightly this year that way.
Okay.
But below that, it could be difficult.
But is Tangenco agreeable to 3.5?
No, we are discussing. In fact, we had indicated that, and they have told us to rework, and we are reworking. It all depends. So both parts are there. There is fixed cost, there is variable cost.
Okay. We were told that, Sir, Adani and Sembcorp have also thrown their hat in the ring.
I'm also told that. I'm also told that way, but I don't have any direct knowledge. But yes, I understand Adani have offered perhaps.
Okay.
That is what we have been told. See, but for me, as I told, it is a good proposal, it is a good asset, but at the same time, unless we are assured of PPA, which has not been done yet, so it will not be possible for us.
Okay, Mr. Acharya, thanks a lot for your time today. That's NLC. The stock was down 1% yesterday. Could open in green today, but...
No, it's more than just NLC. I think if they're able to buy Chhattisgarh, it's a very positive thing for banks.
Yes.
The banks like Axis have exposure to it. And if it's all a difference between 3 rupees 10 pies and 3 rupees 50 pies, it's at least hopeful that some stressed power asset will be bought.
Okay, let's see. For now, VK Sharma of HDFC Securities joins us in our studios. Vinod, good morning. First of all, Happy New Year. I think we're talking for the first time in 2020.
Yeah, good morning. Wish you all a very Happy New Year and your viewers as well.
Okay, so let's... you are retaining your bullish stance. Is it all buy calls or mostly buy calls? Let's start with NMDC and Balrampur Chini then.
Yeah, NMDC has done pretty well, and this is the stock which has added 7% open interest in the current series, which is just 2 days old. And yesterday also 3% OI was added. The stock price is up 2%. I am buying the 145 call at 3.3 with a very tight stop loss at 2 and hope to sell it at around 6, which is almost 85% profit in the current series, NMDC. Other ones of which stock, Anuj, you asked?
Balrampur Chini.
Balrampur Chini is a stock which had gone down essentially because the industry expected that the profits for the next year would be down. But I think the stock is already corrected 26% from the top, and we have seen 12% OI being added in the current series. I'm buying the 140 call here at 4.2 with stop loss at 3 and target of around 7.
Okay, Prakash Diwan is also here with us in the studio to talk about what his strategy is for the new year. And, you know, I mean, we've obviously got a whole list of stocks from you last week. But nevertheless, what's the strategy for the new year?
So, strategy is to celebrate 2017 first by booking profits right now.
Really? So you're cautious?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I told last time also, Sonia, trying to allude to this fact that all the signposts that were so positive have started losing some sort of positivity and some ground. So there would be some, vulnerability to the markets, particularly from the overseas cues. I mean, I don't see any reason why domestically we could, except for certain skirmishes here and there because of the news flow. But apart from that, I think it's the way the texture of the market is. It could probably fall under its own weight. And the froth in the mid cap, small cap is definitely going to get taken off. So, and that is an opportunity. So, I'm quite positive on the year as a whole, but it won't be front-ended in terms of returns. You'll probably see the second half turn out to be much more positive. I mean, we always keep on saying that at the beginning of the year, actually. So, this sounds quite hollow, but interestingly, there could be a huge change in the kind of sectors that you will start seeing. So infra, cap goods. That will probably start making much more headway rather than autos and consumption and all, which have been the flavor for last year.
Okay, well, I do want to say that there is some kind of positivity in the core sector numbers that came yesterday.
Yes.
Cement and steel have done well. Now, of course, cement had a very terrible base from November 2016. But even if you look at the month-on-month trends, cement looks decent, steel looks good. So I want to squarely throw the auto numbers at you. There also we are completely confused because of, the base effect.
Yeah.
You would call them overall good numbers, or only TVS is good and the rest of is middling?
No, definitely. I mean, even Maruti, 10% on the kind of base that it has is no mean feat, Lata. So, TVS, of course, we've had lower base number, this thing, which helps its percentile basis. But, the way we are trying to justify that, this rural push will help, and M&M and CLS has come up with a report. I think what's happening is most of these stocks, even Maruti to that extent, are priced to perfection. So any letdown, let's say TVS, the management has very categorically said end of 2018 will be in double digits on margins. And those margins have been struggling forever. So if that doesn't happen, you can't have TVS Motors at such prices. Eicher has had great numbers, quarter on quarter, month on month. But how long can you keep on, buying into this? Because when the profit taking happens, I think very clearly it will be these ripe counters from which you will see the profits also being taken off, which hasn't happened in recent times.
Okay. Prakash, good morning. What about IT? Infosys, of course, has a new CEO, and the stocks have done well.
Yeah, so I think IT, the mid-cap is where, Anuj, there's a lot of interest. I mean, look at KPIT, look at Exaware. Look at some of these smaller players come back, Mindtree, for instance. And I can tell you, from the channel checks that happened, and somebody shared this with me, KPIT has been very aggressive in recruitments in all IITs this time around, and looking for the first week slots, which it never did for the last many years. So some of them have started getting back into the reckoning because of the niche players expanding itself. And 2018 is a year where probably the US will see expansion in terms of IT budgets also, which hasn't happened last 2 years. So that will be favorable for the smaller players, the leaner players, an FSL, Hexaware. But I would stay away from some of the largest ones for some more time.
I know that you've never been a fan of some of these distressed companies, beleaguered, debt-ridden companies, but any of the Monet Ispats, Relcom, JP Powers that you would like to buy for the short term?
No, so I've been saying JP Infra was well poised because of the kind of the thing. Monet, yes, it has got some sort of asset base that could justify. But look at Amtech or Castex actually. That could probably be another candidate which has assets, and that could kind of be taken up by anybody who wants inorganic growth and expansion, because that's coming at a premium. Growth in most of the forging, casting business has become a tough call. I also mentioned about Unitech, and a disclaimer is I do have very old position in this, sitting with a lot of promise and hope. But Unitech is also another play which has taken off quite well, from $6.5, $7 just a month back to almost 11 plus. I think this will continue for a while till the market gets more semblance of visibility on what's likely in the budget and newer ideas. This is where the risk reward is still favorable. That's the reason why people are flocking onto this thing. But not much that you can buy a basket and make money. I think you'll have to be very stock specific. But I would still believe there is money to be made.
Okay. All right. I think let's finish off with the FNO picks as well. We did Balrampur Chini, I think PC Jewelers, Tata Power. Tata Power, I would really like to hear you. The power stocks have been doing very well.
Well, Tata Power needs to be looked at seriously because this is a 3.5-year high. So, and in terms of derivative wise, I think 16% OI has been added. Yesterday 9 was added. The stock is up 5% in the series, which is just 2 days old. So I'm buying the 100 call here at 3.5 rupees with a stop loss at 2.5 and target of around 6, which is almost 80% increase from the current levels. In case of NMDC, I'm buying NMDC. Have we covered? No. NMDC, I'm buying the 145 call at 3.3, stop loss at 2, target of 6. Karnataka Bank is another bank among the smaller banks which we like based on the technicals and the derivatives all put together. I'm buying the 160 call here at around 4.15, stop loss at 3, target around 7. And PC Jewelers is the one which is at an all-time high. 9% OI added, and we'll still continue to be bullish here. I'm buying the 480 call at around 17 rupees. Target with a stop loss of 13 and target of around 25, which is almost 50% premium increase.
Okay, we'll come back and chat some more. Just an alert though, the Hong Kong market is rollicking now. It's up almost 520 points.